Elizabeth Yang. I was first a writer, then a lawyer. My entire career is about using words, using my voice to move and inspire, to convey and convince people. I was enthralled when in 2013, President Xi Jinping introduced the phrase, telling China's story well. In brief, this phrase encapsulated President Xi's wish that the relevant departments within the government would focus on spreading a positive global message regarding China's accomplishments and aims. Over the subsequent years, Chinese people have risen to the occasion, using the soft power of modern media platforms to share the positive message about China's achievements and aspirations. It has been said, stories constitute the single most powerful weapon in a leader's arsenal. The campaign has been so effective that there is now even a Harvard University course based on it, one that traces the good China story as told in various forms in modern times. So how can Hong Kong take part in telling China's story? I believe Hong Kong has always been telling China's story. Even before we were reunified with China 25 years ago. And to this day, our voice, our stories have been consistently, authentically that of China. As a writer, one of the rules we abide to is never state what you can imply. A message that is lecturing and on the nose turns people off. A message that allows people to use their imagination and fill in the gaps, moves, and inspires. The most successful and persuasive form of storytelling is therefore good literature, movies, and television. From the 1970s onwards, urban American cinemas have been flocked with audiences to see hundreds of martial arts movies produced in Hong Kong and China. I would be remiss at this juncture in not mentioning the iconic stature of Hong Kong's most famous son, Bruce Lee. Since his death in 1973, Bruce Lee has grown from being a kung fu movie star to the most famous Chinese pop culture icon worldwide. In the 1980s, people all around Asia also devoured and relished TVB television shows. Many people to this day said they learned Cantonese from watching our television. Audiences around the world were transfixed with the loud, bright cinematic clash of Chinese heroes and villains and the spectacular show of martial arts skills. But beyond the entertainment value, more importantly, most of these films are repositories for insights into Chinese history and tradition. Hong Kong cinema has long tapped into the rich resource of Chinese culture, and our most successful movies told stories steeped with a depth of cultural detail generally absent from Hollywood action cinema. Audiences learn about the dynastic clash between Qing and Ming, about the traditions of Shaolin Temple and Wudang Mountain. They soak in our values of loyalty, of filial piety, of chivalry and honor, and of our longing for harmony and peace. In recent years, Hollywood has appropriated Chinese films and subjects for dozens of its own productions. Millions of people now first learn about the story of Mulan from a Disney movie, got fascinated with martial arts from watching Kung Fu Panda. While we have a vibrant domestic film market in China, our storytellers must devote the time and energy needed to create our own world-class productions to share modern Chinese values and achievements internationally. Our current wave of Chinese cinematic culture focuses on key periods in relatively recent history. The Battle of Changjin, for example, is a Korean War epic shot in China, which enjoyed a theatrical release in both England and North America, and was then released on global home entertainment platforms. It was directed by 3 Chinese filmmakers, 2 of whom hail from Hong Kong. So Hong Kong is never devoid of talent in telling a story well, and we need to rekindle and groom our young talent to take active part in China's new cinematic movement, with a clear focus and objective in telling China's story well. My second point in telling China's story well is the old cliche of action speaks louder than words. President Xi has expanded in detail on the meaning of his phrase, telling China's story well. Its aim is to share the party's can-do attitude, its responsibility to its national mission, and its care for its people. One of the truly great successes of recent Chinese history has been the Belt and Road Initiative. This massive undertaking saw China invest a staggering 1 trillion renminbi to revive the ancient Silk Road, a trade route that connected China with Europe and expanding into new territories and continents previously unreached. It is the most obvious example of China's desire to use its huge resources, financial and otherwise, to be a force of good across the globe. This runs counter to the frequent depiction in the Western media that the country supports a China-first policy. The Belt and Road Initiative is just one of the successes that are now being shared as part of modern China's story. Another is that, over the past 40 years, which is just a blink of an eye in terms of world history, the Chinese Communist Party had lifted 800 million of its people out of poverty. Today, most people in China live day by day commuting in fast-speed trains, supported by reliable infrastructure, and enjoy a standard of living which far surpass the previous generation's expectations or dreams. Hong Kong continues to be the freest place to do business, easiest place to file taxes, and the most vibrant place to tap into both Chinese and Western trends and development. Every Chinese person living their everyday life to the fullest is a telling of the China story well. President Xi stresses the importance of making a strong, clear statement that despite the propaganda shared by much of the Western media, China is always a builder of world peace. In recent years, the nation has constantly been cited as viable peacemaker between opposing forces. It has now been recognized by many of the countries critical of China are themselves responsible for instigating warfare, while China has restrained from initiating bloodshed. This is just one of the vital issues being shared as part of the nation's story. As China's longtime gateway to the West, Hong Kong also have a key role to play in disseminating the message of the Chinese story, the Chinese dream, to the world. China is fast developing the ability to disseminate information in a slick, engaging way. It may seem something of an uphill battle, but in today's global social media-centric world, there are many examples of apparently contrarian points of view taking center stage in Western democracy. This is evidently due to the effective use of social media. China is now in the process of doing the same, using these global platforms to celebrate its real accomplishment in such fields as the fight against poverty and against the pandemic. We have developed platforms that even take the world by storm, where we could present our narrative and create new ways to share our points of view. But not all of that battle for a voice to be heard is fought in the political arena, nor is it necessarily conducted in English. There may well be a perception that given China is prevalently a country where Chinese is spoken and read, there must be a language barrier when it comes to sharing its message globally. However, in recent years, the quality of South Korean music, television series, and films have allowed the culture to spread worldwide, with little or no allowance made for language. And despite its small size, Hong Kong has long had a disproportionate influence on Chinese popular culture, and the city still plays a significant role in the campaign to bring an honest appreciation of modern China to the world. On a deeper level, President Xi's request that we start telling China's story well would only have the relevance insofar as the nation has a good story to tell. In recent years, China has accomplished a truly impressive range of achievements aimed at benefiting its own people and enhancing China's position on the world stage. At the same time, we have a deep well of philosophy and culture yet to translate with authenticity to the awareness of the world masses. We want people to appreciate Chinese cuisine beyond oily, cheap Chinese takeaways. We want people to practice traditional Chinese methods for enhancing health and longevity beyond buying a ticket to a spectacular show by Shaolin Kung Fu monks. And we want people to appreciate and apply Chinese philosophies beyond Tai Chi in the park or playing mahjong games. But to be able to effectively deliver the country's modern narrative, to tell China's story well, we must ourselves know the China story. The Guangdong, Macau, Hong Kong Greater Bay Area is China's ambitious strategy of developing the most successful Bay Area economy in the world. Hong Kong is very much in the center of it. Young people are offered unprecedented opportunities now to develop their career and to pursue their dreams in this massive market of 86 million people in the Greater Bay Area. Hong Kong is uniquely placed to benefit from its geographical proximity and can only benefit from an increasing capacity to live the Chinese dream. We are the beneficiaries of both a deep and ancient culture and a modern, constantly evolving economic and technological powerhouse. The more we try to understand China, the more China will understand the needs and potential of Hong Kong, now as then the gateway to the Western world. Well, as a lawyer, I hope I have put forward these arguments well. And as a Chinese person, I hope I have today told one China story well. Thank you.